Hey y'all, I want to take just a minute and come and talk to you about the wise man versus the foolish man. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a parable that Jesus gave. It's covered in two different places. It's in Matthew 7, verses 24 through 27, and Luke 6, verses 47 through 49. Let's read what Luke says. Everyone who comes to me and listens to my words and obeys them, I will show you whom he is like. He is like a far-sighted, practical, and sensible man building a house, who dug deep and laid a foundation on the rock, and when a flood occurred, the torrent burst against that house, yet could not shake it, because it had been securely built and founded on the rock. But the one who has merely heard and has not practiced what I say is like a foolish man who built a house on the ground without any foundation, and the torrent burst against it, and it immediately collapsed, and the ruin of that house was great. Now, there's a few things there. In fact, let's start with the similarities, right? Both men heard the word. Both men built a house. And both men faced a storm. It's interesting that just because you hear the word, just because you're a Christian, doesn't mean that you'll never face storms. Just a side note. But what made the wise man's house stand? Why was his house built on the rock? What was the analogy that Jesus was getting at? What's in that very first verse, right? It says in verse 47, everyone who comes to me and listens to my words and obeys them. That's the key. The wise man heard the word and he obeyed it. Some translations say he was a doer of the word. I like to think of it like this. The wise man heard God's word, and then he allowed God's word to govern his thoughts, his words, and his actions. The foolish man just heard the word and said, and walked away and forgot about it. So here's the main point. Every time you hear God's word, you have the opportunity to be the wise person or the foolish person. Are you going to allow God's word to govern your thoughts, your words, and your actions? Are you just going to go your way and forget about what you heard? I want to encourage you today to be a wise person. Thanks for watching.